Hey everybody, it is Matt here. It's Sunday, November 1st, and let's recap the week and then recap the month. So I took a look quickly through the trades of the week. Not a whole lot to go over, but we'll do it in some detail. And then I have not looked at where my month came out yet with gross profit loss. So we'll be discovering that together. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of where it is, but um, sometimes you get surprised because you forget about something. So, okay, first trade of the week was GOVX. So you can see there wasn't much on the gap list initially. Was looking at BVXV, which was from the week prior. That was easy to borrow, but it was really low volume pre-market. And then GOVX popped up on the gap list like right just prior to the bell, and it was easy to borrow for me. And I actually kind of piked this one. So there was a pre-market pivot here, or this little pop to resistance there, and then the pre-market high was up here at like 450. And you can see like I got short here right at 410, and it started to work, and then it kind of worked back on me. And when it made this pop here, it looked like it had some good momentum, and I'm thinking, okay, well, good, we'll get this pop to 450, which is really where I'd like to short it. So I stopped out half my position here at 430, thinking I'd then re-add the rest of it here at 450 and then some. It never quite got there, and then I kind of just hesitated to add here in the 430s. Um, this stop out might have actually been in the 420s. I forget, but I hesitated here, and then by the time I was ready to pull the trigger, it was tanking, which is okay because it went again. I mean, it went for me, so it ended up being a winner. But it was a small one where I really could have taken better advantage of that. So, like I said here, kind of a wasted opportunity, and then it didn't really do any good, any nice pops. Um, a little bit here maybe would have been a nice ad area, but I just didn't get a hold of it, and then I was gone by this point. So, okay, let's see what else we've got. So, Tuesday. All right, I'm gonna say this right up front: the SRRK trades. They were something I shouldn't have been trading right out of the gates. It was a mistake. All of them were a mistake. It was totally not at all my my strategy. And this goes to with the CMEG account and the stupid fees that they charge for borrows for locates. Um, it makes it hard to really play the short side on some of the stuff that's really where the good plays are, and because it's just going to cost too much in fees. And so I'm either waiting for stuff that's easy to borrow, or later in the week I paid the borrows because it was such a good setup. But what happens is I end up getting impatient or bored or whatever, and who knows what led to it this day. But SRRK was easy to borrow, and so I feel obligated to trade it because it's got some volume and it's easy to borrow, even though it's, for multiple reasons, not something I trade. It was above pre-market high, like a good amount above pre-market high. It was high institutional ownership. I mean, this thing was headed higher, quite obviously, and I was just front side shorting over and over again, which was stupid. So um, I know there are some of you who are going to tell me like, "Oh, this thing was headed higher." I know it was, and I screwed this. So I'm admitting out of the gates, the first trade was a poor trade. The second trade was a worse trade. The third trade was an even worse trade. Like, um, I would maybe be okay with the first trade if I just had walked away at that point, but then I started revenge trading. So you can see here I was thinking about that. But let's take a look at it anyway. We'll take a look at some pictures here. Um, yeah, so you can see. I mean, there were some pivots drawn, but this pre-market high is down here at like 1750 or something. And I'm shorting this thing up here in the 20s again because there were pivot points, probably from the daily chart. It had to be from the daily chart, I'm guessing. But I'm taking these small losses here. right? Um, and it's just, this was dumb. It was a bad trade, 100%. I didn't follow my rules, which, when you do that, you're going to get in trouble. Let me see if there's another. Is this a different day? Yeah, it's a different day. We'll look at that next. Okay. So anyway, that's SRRK, and it ended up being a losing day. You can see it was down. It gave $60 to someone else. So that sucks. I don't like losing. Um, I don't like losing if it's a bad trade, I should say. Anyway, then the next day, SRRK was on the list again because it made new highs overnight, and it was fading in the pre-market. And then again, though, still high institutional ownership, but it's a different setup that day. And then this CYH popped up. I don't remember if that was on one of my scans or if somebody called it out. I forget. But it ended up being a $1 trade. It just kind of wasn't worth it. I went in with such small size, I think. Maybe that wasn't the one. I actually had some decent size on that. But it was a weird trading stock from what I remember. So let's look at it. Um, yeah, you can see this a little later in the day. Again, though, this is above pre-market highs, right? So what the hell am I doing? I'm shorting here, and then adding here, and then covering, and this was a stop that I had set. I was hoping it would crack VWAP here and go down, but this is another one I probably shouldn't have been trading. To be honest, I don't remember. Let's take a look at. We'll see if Finviz has info on this. My computer's really slow right now because I'm screen recording. This old beast I've got. No? There we go. It's a little higher share, yeah, and it's 90% institutional. I shouldn't have been touching this one. That's basically what it comes down to. So there's another one, broke my rules. SRRK this day, you can see it was below pre-market high, right? Which is better for me. So I took a small winner here just because I was like, all right, I'm going to get in. It was running up to this pivot here that I had drawn, and took my profit quick because I just didn't trust it. And you can see actually up here to pre-market high would have been another good short. I don't know where it went from here, to be honest. We can look at it here. Yeah, so it did end up cracking that day and going higher. Oh, that's right. That was the second day it popped higher, and then so honestly, still probably a trade I shouldn't have taken, just because of the high institutional ownership. But okay. I think I got this thing fixed up here. So that was Wednesday. Wednesday was a small profitable day, so I made $30 roughly. Thursday, on my hands, didn't do anything. Oh, in the meantime here, I should say that I was looking at the cues, looking for a swing trade long, which initially I think I got stopped out once and then caught a good one and had a pretty good run for like a day and a half, and then got stopped out on that as well as it wicked back on me. Um, I'm not really going to go into the details there because that's not what this for this time. Those to have and think because put my on the L of the phone and then be so Friday hope that I'm and bar self EMG the right 5 weeks that 100 week 500 month for that short stock yeah please be able to risk in the if it be borrowing it out okay it is adding set on a trade it's a bit short in this and maybe more traders already didn't last people that are because like some 500 now like the reading the illustrating he looks it's easy and it's not fitting out. Something up with pretty straight. So let's take a look at it. Um, yeah, so this is EQ. You can see it. This pop here is the one I was talking about. Like, didn't really do it for me. Not really looking to borrow. Sat patiently as 10 o'clock grew near. It made this nice little pop here to 750, and that's where I was really looking to get short. I was licking my lips and really would have liked to. I mean, I had my order entry originally set for 740, but by the time I clicked the button to borrow the shares, it had already started to drop, and I had to take an order at 730. Um, And at that point, it's like, well, I borrowed the shares, so I better get in this trade because I'm not just giving CMEG 25 bucks for no reason. Um, so then from there on out, it was a pretty nice trade. I mean, covered some here, was patient for the first cover, and then some more there. Here at this pivot at 668, that was the I think previous day's high. Actually 666 for all of you number of the beast people out there. And then there were some more pivots down here for other days that had, you know, prior highs or something. But so this cover here as it cracked that level, and then this was a stop. I think I said I had set a trailing stop after this, and it worked out to be pretty much break even with my last cover. But I set a trailing stop for like 20 cents or something out here when the volume got really low. And then I did take a stab at this at the end of the day as well. It was popping up here to previous pivot and made a couple pops toward it. And I thought, all right, let's see if this thing will fade toward the end of the day. And as you can see, it did not. But it was small size, and I think I gave back like, yeah, I gave back $1.74. So it really ate into my profits for the day. So I ended up 150, 176 for the day there. So, like I said, not a bad day, and one of my better trades. Let's take a look at, so this is what the week looked like. Oh, we're going to do this again. Hold on. All right, got that fixed. So we're in the reports section here of TraderView just for the week. You can see I ended up 140.64. That's gross profit. And then let's see where I ended up for the month. Ended up 242.59. So there's that bad loss I took on like that Tuesday morning, whatever day that was, the 5th, the 6th, I guess. And then kind of slowly worked my way back. You can see it wasn't enough. There we go. So this is since, oh, we gotta make it 90 days. Close enough. It's pretty much since the beginning of the, you can see when I first opened CMEG account, I shit the bed pretty good there that second week, and then some big drawdowns, and July was a rough month, and then August, September, pretty good. Again, this is, I took my first short somewhere right at the port. All right, so these are the list of trades since June 1st. That's when I opened the CMEG account at the beginning of June there. And so you can see my biggest winner was back in July. And then that EQ trade just Friday was my second biggest winner so far in the account. So that's good. I mean, that was a positive way to end the month. But you can see if I go the other way, I apologize for this. I don't know if it's just the slowness of my computer. Okay, there we go. We've got some big losers though. So you've got this Wafu trade and the Mist trade. Those were both in that second week in this account where I was like just not ready to be trading the size I was trading. So it's not that I don't count these, but I view those first 2 weeks in the CMEG account as like a it's just a dark period in my past, you know. It's like if somebody was like had a part of their life where they were, I don't know, like drinking or using some drug that they just did a bunch of shitty things, and now they stopped doing that thing, and so they're a better person, and they're like, yeah, that was just a shitty part of my life. That's how I feel about that second week in the CMEG account. I was just like, yeah, I was just not in a good place right then. But you can see still though I got some big losses along the way, right? Which is not good. You know, we've got to do a better job of controlling those. You know, and looking back through the names, there are some where I'm like, yep, remember this one, remember these two. I remember how I got skipped up on, or I didn't stop out quickly enough, and uh, so we got to keep working on making those losses smaller. Although I will say, with the type of trading that I'm doing, you know, the big losses are a symptom of this because you know you end up you're supposed to end up with a higher winning percentage, and sometimes your losses are big, but the number of winners outruns the losses, and you know that's how the numbers work. Hopefully, I don't have to explain that to you, but anyway, all right, let's take a look at the back end account. Okay, so this is the prop report, and I apologize. I keep pausing the video and unpausing it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell if that's going to be annoying at all, but it just makes it easier to make sure, one, I'm not showing you stuff on my screen that I don't want to show you, like my personal information that's at the top of this page, and two, my browser's for some reason slow as balls right now. So you can see this is how my week ended up. So gross, I was up 140.64, and then net after fees and commissions and all that, I was just up $94 for the week. So a positive week, right? I mean, small, but okay. You can see the, you know, commissions not being so bad now since the new commission structure a month ago or so, or whenever that was. That's really nice to be able to not worry about that so much. I mean, they're not great still compared to other brokers, but you know, it's an offshore account, so what are you going to do? So 125, and then the fee of $31. I mean, most of that was actually all of that was from that trade on Friday, where I had the borrows, right? Because the $25 flat fee plus the $6, and so that's the difference. I mean, look at that. That stupid flat fee that CMEG charges is $25, and the borrows would have only been $6. Man, $6 borrows. That's no problem at all, right? Anyway, okay, I'm gonna zoom this out to the month. Hold on one sec. Okay, here we go. So, as I've said, I haven't actually taken a look at this yet. This is the month of October, and I started with 1546 in the account. I'm pretty sure it's going to be lower than that. You can see where it's this Tuesday, October 6th, which was like the 4th day of the month. You can see that was my big loss there. I mean, that one really hurts, man. Jeez. Okay, let's see where we end up. Oh, up $59. But guess what? That's actually not the case because I set this to go to the 30th, but on the 31st, we get the software and data fees taken out. So that'll actually be, subtract 125 from this. So, yeah, so you can see, anyway, it ended up net after commissions and, you know, all these fees, ECNs, SEC fees, all that stuff. I was up $90 at the end of the month. And then the $31 for the borrow fees took me down to 59. And then let's actually make this go to the end of the month, and you'll see the next. Okay, there it is. So you can see down 65.79 on the month with fees included. So honestly, I mean, that's, in the grand scheme of things, that's a break-even month. You know, anything on either side of zero up and, you know, $100 or something. I mean, it's slightly negative. I'm not trying to like spin it positively, but it's just, I don't mind giving away $70 for a month like this. I mean, it's just where I'm at in my trading career, right? So, all right, let's take a look at some other things here. So just as a reminder, this is the numbers for September last month, where even after all of these fees, which included a bunch of borrows, I ended up 164.94. you can see there's the $125 platform fee. And then let's look at some fees I paid up here. I paid fees on Kodak. I paid fees twice on Kodak, it looks like. And I paid fees on SAVA, on Sava. So that's where all those big fees came from. But I mean, look what that did to my to my profit. Obviously, it allowed me to trade some things, but you're talking I was net 405 and then $240 worth of fees. Oh, there we go. That'll cut your profits down. Right. Okay, let's look at one more thing. Okay, so this is from the beginning of the account until now. So talk about a sobering report. So first of all, trading, I'm down net. Actually, let's look at this. Trading gross, I'm up 586.73. After commissions, ECN fees, other fees, down 629.52. Right now, part of that is the old commission structure. It would be interesting to just go back and crunch numbers and see how much smaller this number would be with the newer commission structure of the, you know, what is it, 0.4 cents per share or 0.04, whatever. Yeah, it's 0.4 cents per share, I think. Anyway, my brain is mush right now. And then anyway, so down 629 net, then fees. Man, look at those fees. And so far I've lost $1,500. So you can see what a CMEG account does, and this will be true for other accounts. I'm not just picking on CMEG, but the fees are hefty with CMEG, especially like we mentioned before on the short side. But you can see how like a slightly profitable trading system, although that's that's nothing to. I'm not trying to stand on a podium with a gold medal around my neck for $500 over 5 months time, right? But you can see what it does. I mean, the difference between the gross number here and this number here is substantial, right? But this is all part of. To me, this is all part of it's tuition. It's where I'm at now. I just have to make a decision on what I want to do going forward. Do I keep trying in a CMEG account and dealing with the, try to keep going short and deal with the borrows thing? Do I try to flip and go back to a long strategy, which it seems I was having trouble making that work? I really like the short strategy I've got going right now, but I don't really have enough capital to start a real US-based brokerage account where I would be charged less fees and be able to trade short a little more comfortably. I don't have the capital to do that right now. So the way that trade worked out on Friday, the EQ trade, where I borrowed shares at the last second and jumped in on it. I mean, that's one way to do it. I guess just the only problem with that is, again, those fees are. It looks good when you win, right? Like it was a $153 winner and then $30 in fees, so it's $120, right? But then you take some losses with that, and those fees are just they're gonna crush you, So they can, again, the fees are gonna take what is a slightly profitable system. I shouldn't even call it a system. Slightly profitable trading, because even if the system works, you've got to trade it well, which I don't always do. Still working on that, right? And anyway, not sure what to do going forward, but I've got to figure that out. Next month, obviously in November, I'm going to be in the CMEG account, so we'll figure out the rest from there. Anyway, questions or comments, leave them below. Otherwise, have a good week.